Los Angeles in the late 1940s was chasing a new dream. Freeways were rising, Hollywood was booming, and sunshine sold a picture of perfect life. But inside one downtown courtroom, that image cracked open. A man in handcuffs stood accused of crime so sensational that his name would echo for decades. To some, Caryl Chessman was a ruthless predator. To others, he became proof that America's justice system could go too far. Caryl Whittier Chessman was born May 27, 1921 in St. Joseph, Michigan. His parents moved west during the Depression, settling first near Glendale, California. He was bright, quick-witted, but restless. By 13, he was stealing cars. Juvenile court judges called him incorrigible. By his mid-20s, he had spent most of his life locked up for burglary, robbery, and auto theft. In early 1948, Los Angeles was on edge. For months, a mysterious man had been haunting lovers' lanes and quiet hillsides. He used a flashing red police light to stop parked cars, then robbed the couples and, in several cases, assaulted the women. The papers nicknamed him the Red Light Bandit. On January 23, 1948, police chased a speeding car through the Hollywood Hills. When it crashed, the driver, 26-year-old Caryl Chessman, was arrested. Inside the car, officers found stolen goods, multiple license plates, and a red emergency light. The press immediately branded him the Bandit. Detectives questioned him for days. He later claimed he'd been beaten and denied a lawyer. Police denied it. Within weeks, prosecutors filed an 18-count indictment including robbery, attempted robbery, kidnapping, and assault. The trial opened May 1948. Reporters packed the courtroom. Los Angeles wanted closure. Chessman pled not guilty but faced a stacked deck. A public defender represented him only briefly before Chessman insisted on handling parts of his own defense. Victims identified him as their attacker. After a 3-week trial, the jury found him guilty on 17 of 18 counts. 2 of those counts, kidnapping for robbery with bodily harm, fell under California's Little Lindbergh Law, which allowed the death penalty even when no murder had occurred. The judge sentenced him to die in San Quentin's gas chamber. Most condemned prisoners faded quickly from the headlines. Caryl Chessman refused. He devoured law books in the prison library and began writing his own appeals. He argued that the movement of victims during the crimes lasted only seconds, that the law was misapplied, and that the trial transcript had been altered by a malfunctioning stenograph machine. He filed motions himself, dozens of them, sometimes typing through the night. A few reached the U.S. Supreme Court. In 1954, he published Cell 2455, Death Row, his autobiography written behind bars. It became an international bestseller. Hollywood studios tried to buy the film rights. He followed it with Trial by Ordeal, The Face of Justice, and the novel The Kid Was a Killer. Readers flooded Sacramento with letters demanding clemency. Over the next 12 years, he won 8 stays of execution, sometimes only hours before the cyanide pellets were scheduled to drop. Each stay deepened the national debate over capital punishment. Was California executing a violent criminal or silencing a man who'd become too famous to ignore? By the late 1950s, the case had become global news. Writers and public figures including Eleanor Roosevelt, Marlon Brando, Billy Graham, Norman Mailer, Robert Frost, and Ray Bradbury appealed for mercy. Foreign newspapers printed daily countdowns. Even the Pope sent a message urging commutation. In prison, Chessman remained defiant. He told reporters he was innocent of the assaults and that he had become a scapegoat for hysteria. The state maintained the evidence was solid. Governor Edmund Brown Sr., personally opposed to capital punishment, refused to intervene beyond normal legal review. He believed the courts had spoken. After 12 years of reprieves, the deadline arrived again. That morning, guards entered cell 2455 and told Chessman it was time. He dressed neatly, combed his hair, and walked calmly to the small green-painted chamber. Witnesses said he looked pale but steady. As preparations began, a last-minute legal move was underway in Sacramento. A California Supreme Court justice had agreed to issue another temporary stay while reviewing a petition. But a secretary misdialed the prison's phone number. By the time the warden received the correct call, the gas had already been released. At 10 a.m., the signal light outside the chamber changed from green to red. Minutes later, Caryl Chessman was pronounced dead at age 38. His execution sent shockwaves far beyond California. Editorials in Europe called it judicial murder. American newspapers split down the middle. Some said justice was done. Others said the law itself was unjust. California's Little Lindbergh Law was soon amended, eliminating the death penalty provision for non-homicide kidnapping. No one convicted under that statute would ever again face execution. In the years that followed, lawmakers, journalists, and activists cited Chessman's case as a turning point in the modern movement against capital punishment. He had spent 12 years on death row, the longest stretch of any non-murder prisoner in U.S. history up to that time. Whether he was guilty or innocent remains debated. Some researchers note contradictions in witness statements and chain of evidence problems. Others point to his long criminal record and the physical evidence found in his car. But what no one disputes is how profoundly his case changed California law and the global conversation about the death penalty. Decades later, the name Caryl Chessman still carries weight in Los Angeles history, half myth, half warning. He was the thief who became a writer, the prisoner who became a movement, and the man who fought the state for 12 straight years, armed only with a typewriter and his will to live. He once wrote from his cell, "To live is to fight. When the fighting stops, life ends." For Caryl Chessman, the fight never really stopped, and neither did the questions he left behind.